like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
Hi, I'm John Malos. Welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me here on the showroom floor at Ventura TV on this day. And you can call in at 436-MeTV option 11. We're talking about the MS Walk that takes place this coming Saturday morning at Fig Garden Village. Hope you can join us and hope you can be there. Back with our program in a moment. Back again here for Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno, of course live on Comcast channel 187 and 43.6. If you want to call in today, please, my friends, make sure and turn down the sound on your TV set before you call in. Yesterday we had a couple of calls, callers calling in with their televisions blaring in the background. Of course, we couldn't hear a thing they were saying. So if you call in, be my guest. Once again, this coming weekend, we've got a walk, a charity walk that is for a good cause. It's for multiple sclerosis, MS, of course. It takes place at Fig Garden Village Saturday morning beginning at 9:30. I want to take you to the videotape, show you exactly what I am talking about. You're looking at past the walks, the MS Walk here, video. The walk area opens up at about 7 o'clock in the morning at Fig Garden Village. And the walk, as I said, begins at about 9:30. There's a 1-mile family run and also a 3K. So far here in the Central Valley, the MS Society has raised about $90,000, roughly speaking. That's roughly about 58-59% of their goal. Their goal for 2014 is to raise about $155,000. MS affects, of course, thousands here in California, many more across the U.S. and across the globe. That disease strikes the central nervous system, of course, the spinal cord and other parts of the body, mainly the brain. The entire human body, of course, relies on the central nervous system for just about everything. Thinking, writing, moving, you name it. Basically, it means the brain is not able to send the right signal to the rest of the body. So, here now to talk about MS, what happens to you when you have it, how do you find out if you have it, and what do you do about it, is Fotini Alfieris live in our studio, who has MS herself. She is here to answer any and all of your questions about MS. If you have MS, if you have a friend, a relative, a cousin, whatever the case may be, and also answer questions about the run this coming Saturday, once again at 9:30 in the morning, starting at Fig Garden Village. Again, the phone number here, 436-MeTV option 11. Do turn down the sound. We're back with our program in just a moment.
Frigidaire. We introduced the first home freezer, the first pulsator agitator washer, and now we introduce the Frigidaire Orbit Clean dishwasher, designed with a unique wash arm that gives you 4 times more water coverage for a consistently better clean. Frigidaire, over 90 years of legendary innovation.
See the full line of Frigidaire appliances at Ventura TV Electronics and Appliances.
Back here in our program on Connect with Me, 436-MeTV option 11. We're talking about MS today. Thousands afflicted with MS, of course, across the state and across this Central Valley. Many people have it as well. And glad to welcome back into our program again, a second appearance by Fotini Alfieris. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me. Nice to see you too.
Happy Thursday.
Thank you. Happy Thursday to you.
We're over that hump.
Yes, we're almost there.
Into the weekend and almost to the walk, right?
Yes, very exciting. It's going to be here before I know it. So
tell me about the walk and what it entails.
Yeah, so our Walk MS event, there's not a minimum that needs to be raised to participate in our walk, and you can register the day of. and so we're taking walk-ons on. But basically, it's a rallying point for people with MS and their family and friends, or people that just want to do something great for the community. And so it's a great event. We've moved it to Fig Garden Village because our event has grown so much. We had over 2,000 participants last year, and this year we're anticipating even more. So
you had over 2,000 last year?
We did,
Wow.
and this year we think it's going to be more. And so we're closing down Palm Avenue, going north. And
you are? So
we are. Don't try to go down a Palm. It's a warning.
Over there by the Walgreens, or?
Yeah, so Palm to Browning going north will be closed from 8:30 to 11:30 on Saturday morning.
That's quite a ways. And so, and I mentioned in here there's a 1 mile family run.
It's a walk as well.
It's a walk, okay. It's not
some
really
people,
a run.
Yeah, some people like to walk it. There's a couple that like to, but for the most part,
They like to
everybody's
show
walking,
off, don't
right? Or they just want to get done with it soon to eat. So, one of the
Well,
things.
it's going to be warm on Saturday, so get there early, and I'm glad it starts early too in the day. About how long does it last?
It'll be done by noon. You'll be done really by 11:30. So people go on the walk. We have our opening ceremonies at 9 a.m. The walk starts at 9:30.
Yeah.
People will come back. They'll eat lunch and listen to music. We have a raffle, and then they'll head home. So it's really not going to take your whole day.
Does it cost something to enter the run or the walk?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It's
and
free.
so it is, but it
you
is a
can donate
fundraiser.
if you
You
want.
can, and if you'd like an event T-shirt, the minimum that needs to be raised or donated is $100 if you'd like an event T-shirt.
Okay.
But there's not a minimum to just participate. But it is a fundraiser. You are getting a free lunch. We do ask
Right.
that people do raise, or donate something.
Donate something.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's $5.
Absolutely,
I
it all
mean,
adds up.
You get 2,000 or 3,000 people out there, and each of them donates $5, or even $1. That's a lot of money.
Absolutely. We'll take the $5,000 ones too. But yes, it is a lot of money. It adds up.
Yeah. Multiple sclerosis. We have a video, of course, that you sent us. It explains what MS really is. But now, tell us your story a little bit about MS and your bout with MS, and how do you find out if you have it?
Well, it's different for every single person, and some people
Okay.
go years without having so many different symptoms and not knowing exactly what's going on. I was very
So
fortunate.
people can have it now, fotini, and not even know it?
Absolutely. It happens all
Really?
the time. But,
Okay.
different doctors go through different tests. So I was very fortunate, or not fortunate. I had a very big MS attack at the beginning. So, they gave me MRIs and spinal taps at the beginning. So with those tests, they were able to see that I have multiple sclerosis.
Now, you said you had an attack. What does that mean?
It's just an acute attack on the nervous system. So basically, that's when I was having issues with my walking, with my vision. I lost my vision in my left eye. I started to have issues with my walking. I had foot drop. It was a very scary time in my life, and I had numbness and tingling and fatigue. They just didn't know what was going on, and so they gave me all of the tests, and that's when they diagnosed me with MS.
Do you have to go for medication? Do you take medication every month or
Yeah.
every day or every week? Or
Well,
what?
I used to take shots, which were every other day, and a lot of people are still taking those. And, if that's working for you, it's fantastic. I have a very aggressive disease, and so I'm on the most aggressive treatment right now. I have a monthly infusion. But the only reason why I'm on that is because the other ones weren't working. And so it's
The
really my
monthly
only
infusion
option.
entails what? A shot?
It's an IV. It takes about
Okay.
an hour, and then they watch me for an hour. So basically that cuts off the white blood cells from getting into my central nervous system, which if the white blood cells aren't in there, it's not attacking me. But you sometimes need those white blood cells to kill off bad things. And
Yeah.
so
And you have to do that once a month.
every 28 days. And so,
Yeah.
but it is an aggressive treatment. If my disease wasn't so aggressive, I probably wouldn't take that risk every month. But that's really my only option at this point.
Yeah. Can you do that here in Fresno, or do you have to go someplace and do it?
You can do it here in Fresno. There's not an MS specialist that only sees MS patients in Fresno.
I
do
see.
have an MS specialist at Stanford, and so I choose
Right.
just to keep my MS healthcare up there. But
Right.
it's something
But
I
you
could
can do it
here.
in Fresno
I
if you
could,
choose.
if I chose to, for sure. But because
Yeah.
my disease is so aggressive, I've just chosen that it's underlooked by an MS specialist, just because.
Yeah, and they have a specialist at Stanford then.
They have 3, yes, and so
Wow.
I really like having that specialty
That's
care.
Now, what year did you find out that
I've-
you had yours?
Yeah, I found out 7 years ago in '07, and I was young. I was in my early 20s. I was almost 23 years old, 22 years old. I was young, and I'm finishing school, my college, and I had to drop all of my classes because I couldn't see out of my left eye, and so it was a very scary time in my life. unfortunately. So, a few months later, I had issues with my walking, and then a year later, I had foot drop. It was a very scary time in my life.
So let me ask you, does it afflict a certain age group, or is it just, it doesn't discriminate?
That's a very good question. In the old days, they'd say between the ages of 20 and 40, but people are getting diagnosed at all ages, and now we have young children that are also getting diagnosed. So we're very fortunate that there's 5 pediatric MS centers in the country, and one of them's at UCSF, which isn't too far away.
Yeah.
And so kids that are getting diagnosed are able to go up to UCSF to their MS pediatric center. So even children are getting diagnosed with MS. So they don't know what the cause is, so they really don't know how to prevent it.
How many thousands have it?
There's worldwide.
Is there an estimate?
Yeah, worldwide, they think it's over 2.1 million worldwide.
Yeah.
In the San Joaquin Valley, about 2,400.
Yeah. All right, we're talking with Fotini Alfieris. A lot to get to today. 436 MeTV option 11 if you want to call in. Remember, turn down the sound. Today we're talking about MS. The MS Walk takes place this coming Saturday at 9:30 in the morning at Fig Garden Village. We're back in a moment.
Remember me?
After practicing law, Raymond Berg fought crime.
You have the right to an attorney.
As a hard-boiled detective on wheels,
Ain't it the truth?
his name is Ironside.
Perhaps you wouldn't mind saying it again.
His name is Ironside.
All right, now you've said it.
Nothing slows him down.
I want to see this one firsthand.
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Well, what are we waiting for?
We're talking about a very serious illness and something you can do about it. Certainly you can donate to the MS Society, and out there at the walk on Saturday at Fig Garden Village, you can donate whatever you want, $1, 50 cents, $5, whatever you can afford. It all adds up, no question. Talking to Fotini Alfieris. What is your title with the MS Society?
Community Development Manager.
Okay, and what do you do for that during that time?
Yeah, so I'm in charge of the special events in the San Joaquin Valley.
Like the walk?
Like the walk. My area covers Madera, Fresno, Tulare, and Kings counties.
Okay.
And I also have a formal gala event in the fall, but I also am in charge of the programs and services in the San Joaquin Valley as well. So we have a lot of wellness programs, and educational programs and stuff like that that I coordinate and set up.
Yeah. All right, you might be wondering out there, if you want to call in 436 MeTV option 11, what is MS? We have a video that describes exactly what this disease is and how it affects you.
Multiple sclerosis, MS, is a disease that affects the central nervous system, the CNS, which consists of the brain, spinal cord, and optic nerves. Everything we do, whether it's taking a step, solving a problem, or simply breathing, relies on the proper functioning of the CNS. To understand how MS may impact the CNS, we must explore the disease at the cellular level. In the brain, millions of nerve cells called neurons continually send and receive signals. Each signal is a minute but necessary part of intricate CNS orchestrations that culminate in the actions, sensations, thoughts, and emotions that comprise the human experience. Normally, the path over which a nerve signal travels is protected by a type of insulation called the myelin sheath. This insulation is essential for nerve signals to reach their target. In MS, the myelin sheath is eroded, and the underlying wire-like nerve fiber is also damaged. This leads to a breakdown in the ability of the nerve cells to transmit signals. It is believed that the loss of myelin is the result of mistaken attacks by immune cells. Immune cells protect the body against foreign substances, such as bacteria and viruses. But in MS, something goes awry. Immune cells infiltrate the brain and spinal cord, seek out the myelin, and attack. As ongoing inflammation and tissue damage occurs, nerve signals are disrupted. This causes unpredictable symptoms that can range from numbness or tingling to blindness and paralysis. These losses may be temporary or permanent.
All right, so that's exactly what MS is. It's pretty described in very much detail in that piece of video right there. So Fotini, it starts in the brain, and touched on it just briefly in the monologue, but it has to do with the neurons in the brain sending the signals out to the rest of the body. And if those signals don't get sent out properly, in deep trouble.
Right, it could be very debilitating, and it could be brain or spinal cord. So some people have multiple sclerosis, only have damage on their spinal cord, some only in the brain. I like to be above average, so I have it on brain, spinal cord, and optic nerves, so it's really anywhere the central nervous system is controlled, and so it can be a very debilitating disease.
Yeah, so can it threaten your life?
You know, back when people would get diagnosed years ago, I think people thought of it as a death sentence. Now, it doesn't necessarily threaten your life. I think there could be complications that could lead to death, but we're very fortunate that now we have medicines to help slow down the progression of the disease.
Yeah.
So, you know, and everyone's case is so different, but you know, I think the exciting thing is that now when you get diagnosed, there is life after diagnosis because there's medicine to help slow down the progression of the disease.
Right. And I want to put up some graphics of some famous people, of course, that are very well known. You're going to recognize the faces. That's Ann Romney. She has MS, as we all know, of course, Mitt Romney's wife. Another one who has it, Neil Cavuto of Fox News. He announced it, of course, on the air. I remember that. Another person who has it is Montel Williams. He has lived with this for years, Fotini. Years. Montel Williams has widely publicized his battle and bout with MS. Of course, the comedian Richard Pryor had it, and you know, so it's you know, when famous people get it, they announce it.
Absolutely, and you know, it's one of those things that people that have visibility, I like when they come out because it helps raise awareness.
Yeah, and so has it raised awareness here in the Central Valley with some of those people, especially, you know, Ann Romney, of course, it was just 2 years ago that Mitt Romney ran for president. And it was very prominent in the news that, you know, the people talking about the fact that she had MS. So
Sure.
Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I think that it does help raise awareness. I think that even more than that is help publicizing our local events that that happen, because then people realize, wow, we do have a presence. The MS Society has a presence here in the Central Valley, and there's a lot of resources and help for that.
Right. I want to put up the website real quick. It is the MS website that you can go to, scroll on it, you can look at it. Click on any of the links that you feel like clicking on there. It'll also give you an estimate, of course, on what the goal is for the year. It's you got about, what, 59% of your goal reached for this year, and there's the website right there. You can click on any of the links there. So this website is good for, what, Madera all the way down to Tulare?
Actually, that website's, we're part of the Southern California Nevada chapter, so it's our whole chapter website. But that website will also direct you to our information website with the Society if you want to learn about the MS Society as well.
So what other kind of information is on there? For example, a history of MS or what?
Yeah, it'll talk about MS, it'll talk about different resources, different programs, different ways to live a better life. And so there's a lot of different things that could be very useful to people with MS.
Okay, talking to Fotini Alfieris here of the MS Society here in Fresno, and we're going to be back with our program. If you want to call in at 436 MeTV option 11, we're back in just a moment.
Now, why don't you tell us the whole story right from the beginning? All right, from the beginning. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. My name's Friday. I carry a badge. Police officers.
You any idea who the other man was?
My partner's Bill Gannon.
Program?
We got just one big question.
Yeah.
When?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here on the show, connect with me on MeTV Fresno talking about MS, 436 MeTV option 11. Do turn down the sound if you decide to call in, talking with Fotini Alfieris. What about MS that maybe you would want people to know about, maybe that they don't know, that maybe they're not aware of, even by looking at the website or by going online and doing Google searches, and also by watching that video? What is it about MS you want people to know about most?
I think when people are affected by it, whether they're diagnosed or a family member is diagnosed, I think one of the worst things you could do is read too much about it. You know, we all get on the internet when something happens to us, and I think there's things on there that aren't accurate. So, you know, I think that it's important to be careful on what is read about the disease. And I also think that to not read too much into it and too much about it. You know about it. I think it's great. We have the MS Society at the office, and we have so many resources to learn about different issues that might happen. But I think for people, it's important not to look too much into it, because I know at the beginning I did that and I lost my mind because, I'm reading things and half of it wasn't even true, and so.
You mean by reading stuff on the internet?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they have things that aren't accurate or are accurate. The good news is the MS Society website's very accurate, and so I think if you stick to that, or any other foundations about MS.
If somebody has MS, or if they suddenly find out that they are diagnosed to have it, what should they do? What's the first thing they should do?
I think it's important for them to educate themselves, or they could, even do something as simple as calling me at the office. And
Which is what number?
We're at 439-2154. Of course, area code 559.
439.
439-2154.
2154. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And do what?
And
ask questions.
Ask questions, any questions that they may have, or get on our mailing list. So then they're on our mailing list to know what programs and services that we do have. Maybe what upcoming programs we have, educational programs. We have wellness programs. MS can affect your cognition. We had a cognitive fitness program. It could affect your balance. We had a balance in MS program. And so, so we have different resources for the patients and stuff like that. Another thing that I would convey to people is that there is life after diagnosis now. Like I said, 20 years ago, they would send you home and wish you the best of luck. Now we have 9 different treatments, and the next few years, we're going to have a couple more that are going to come out and be FDA approved. So,
when you're diagnosed at first, should you go see the doctor and confer with him or her and find out what your options are? I mean,
absolutely.
Is it a situation where you can not only talk to your doctor, but maybe talk to family, talk to friends? What else can you do?
100%. So, it's important to get the whole family involved and let them know exactly what's going on. It's important to have a good relationship with your doctor. Your chances are good you were diagnosed with a neurologist, and so the neurologist will let you know, different resources as well. The different pharmaceutical companies are always having educational programs with MS specialists that come into town and stuff like that. So it's important just to educate yourself on exactly what is going on, and you become your expert. Your own expert at your disease.
All right, call coming in. Good morning, you're on the show. What's your question?
The question is, there's finally been a face put on MS, some of the personalities that you showed, Montel Williams and Cavuto and some of the others. Like the Michael J. Fox, of course, is
Parkinson's.
Also
Parkinson's disease,
right, spokesperson, or I guess a name that's recognized with the disease. But my question is, are we any closer now than 25 years ago to finding a cure? Is it unrealistic to think there's a cure to be found? And if so, what's the timetable? What are they looking at for a possible cure? Thank you.
It's a very good question, and I think absolutely we're closer than ever. I think since I was diagnosed in 2007, there was only 5 treatments that helped slow down the progression of the disease. Now there's 9 and almost 10 treatments that are approved to help slow down the progression. As far as a cure, I think that our disease is getting so much attention, which is very exciting. And right now they're working on how to rebuild the myelin sheath around the nerves that's being damaged. And I think once they're able to do that, I think that's the closest thing there is.
That's the protective cover.
Correct,
that's around the nerve.
nerves.
Yeah, I saw that in the video. Yeah. It's amazing. You would know that.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
I mean, so they're finding new ways to protect the nerve, or
I think they're working on how to rebuild the myelin sheath, and so
through
they're doing
surgery,
through tests. No, I think through just different tests. I'm not sure exactly. They're doing different things.
Okay.
But right now they're still testing that with rats and mice and stuff like that. But I think that I am convinced that they're going to find a cure in my lifetime. I really am. I can't believe how far it's come since I was diagnosed 7 years ago. So I think we're getting closer and closer every single day.
And you're in your 30s, right? Or not yet?
Not yet. I'll be 30 at the end of the month.
Okay. So when you say in your lifetime, I mean, that's within the next 40, 50, 60 years.
Absolutely. They're calling it the polio of the 90s. I think one day they're even looking at maybe having a vaccine for MS one day, and so I really do believe that one day I'll be explaining it to, I don't have children yet, but I'll be explaining it to my children on exactly what it was and how it challenged a lot of people.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you don't have kids yet, you said. If you get diagnosed and you're a woman, are there complications in having children? I'm sure you've researched that.
Of course I have. That was the first question I had with my specialist, and the answer is no. Actually, most women who have MS, when they get pregnant, go into remission. They don't know why.
Really?
They think they've zeroed in on the hormone that puts the women in remission. They think it's estriol. And right now, the MS Society, we're funding at UCLA the estriol trial. It's in phase 2. And basically, they think they've zeroed in on the hormone that puts women in remission or helps the disease. And so most women that I've spoken with said absolutely they've never felt better except when they were pregnant with MS. So
Now, what happens after the pregnancy?
And that's the thing that gets complicated, is that most women after the pregnancy might get an MS attack or may have new symptoms or something like that, but some feel fine.
But
So
during the pregnancy,
most feel great.
like zero problems.
Most, some.
Amazing.
And some do. You know, that's not everybody. Everyone's case
Right.
is so different. But yeah, it's very amazing and very exciting. I guess I just have to have a lot of kids.
And so don't be afraid to have kids.
Yeah,
if
and
you
it's
have
me.
MS,
Yeah, I
don't be
don't think
afraid of
so.
it, and also, you know, talk to your doctor about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, you need to talk to your doctor about everything.
Everything. I think you really become your own expert about your own disease, but it's important to talk to your neurologist, and if you have a specialist, and your specialist, and what your plans are. So, you know, if you want to have a child, I think talk with your neurologist about it, and they look at all of the different factors. If you're able to, then they'll help you do that.
So when you have MS, you have a regular doctor, you have a specialist and a neurologist that deals with that disease. A neurologist is the specialist who deals with MS?
Mine personally, yes, I have an MS specialist who he's a neurologist who's the MS specialist. All he sees is MS. I also have a neuro-ophthalmologist as well up at Stanford because
Not sure what that is.
Yeah, it's someone who's a neurologist and ophthalmologist because the disease has affected my vision significantly.
Your vision. You're okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Your vision. Yes.
Yeah, and so because I've lost my vision in both my eyes once, in my left eye completely, a year later in my right eye completely.
But it came back.
Of course, it came back.
Of course it did.
And then once both eyes at the same time, so it's very scary.
Another call coming in. Good morning. You're on the show. Your question?
Yes, my name's Robert Tiger, and I called to let you know that I found a thing about my mom died, and she had a fan, and the fan is, you know, a fan like you fan on your face or stuff like that. But the thing of it was autographed by a bunch of people that was on the cruise ships of the Japanese, and both cruise ships of the Japanese were sunk by the Americans.
Okay. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it. I have no idea what he was talking about. It has nothing to do with MS. I don't. Did you get that?
No, I missed it.
I have no idea. We got about a minute and a half left. So the MS Walk takes place this coming Saturday at 9:30. And you know, one final thing. I mean, when you get diagnosed, I mean, I've always, you know, kind of wondered about this, is that the immediate thoughts that go through your, oh my God, how long do I have to live? Do those thoughts go through your mind?
I think they did at the beginning. It's the unknown, because it is a very unknown kind of disease.
So don't think that way.
I don't think so.
Because it's not a death sentence.
It's not.
By any stretch of the imagination. You're living proof that you're here.
Yeah.
And you're going to be here for many years.
Yeah, I hope so. You know, and so it's one of those things, and that's why it's just important. Get to know your disease. Get to know your body. Become your own best expert along with your doctor, your neurologist, your specialist, whoever it is.
And explain to your doctor how you feel.
Exactly.
You know, both physically and mentally.
Absolutely, and be your own best advocate on everything that's going on. I think that's so important.
Yeah.
So.
Get involved in the MS Society, donate, and try to do all you can. All right. I think that's going to, we're out of time. Out of time, Fotini.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Fotini Alfieris of the MS Society. Hey, it's a big walk. The MS Walk this weekend, 9:30 at Fig Garden Village. Hope you can be there and donate for a good cause. That's going to do it for us today here on Connect with Me on MeTV Fresno. Back with another edition of this program tomorrow. Hope you have a great day.
Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're the save energy, save time, save money place. The Energy Star qualified #1 rated high-efficiency Cabrio from Whirlpool Place. You heard right. Right now, save big on select Whirlpool Cabrio laundry pairs and pay no interest when paid in full within 6 months. At the hometown low price, think outside the big box place. Since 1951, Ventura TV Appliance Center. We're working hard to be your place.
Want more of me? Me? Go to MeTVFresno.com for schedules, information on your favorite shows, videos, pictures, and more. Go to MeTVFresno.com today. Exclusively brought to you by Ventura TV.